Hey, we don't have a lot more time, but I would like to play this crazy big fish story. This just absolute made up. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. Listen to, and I can't help but say, Dean Scarayco has a nickname for Doug Ford, and whenever I see Doug Ford, I can't help myself. You know what Dean Scarayco calls Doug Ford? He calls him Fat Trudeau. And that's not a particularly elegant nickname, but I can't stop thinking. When I look at him, I think Fat Trudeau. The master of nicknames, of course, is Donald Trump. And he's just got this knack of making. Anyway, Dean Scarayco says Fat Trudeau. Let's listen to Fat Trudeau. And I just have a question for you. I'm not going to call this an IQ test. I'm going to call this are you skeptical enough of politicians test. Listen to this story. It's about 2 minutes long. And you tell me, is there even a drop, even a speck, a mite, a mote, a tidbit, a jot, an iota? Is there any truth in this? Or is Fat Trudeau just lying again? Take a look.
I escape from my detail at 8 o'clock in the morning before they come, and it ticks them off. So I hop in my pickup, and I want to go to Home Depot. It was on a Saturday, and I pull up, and I wanted to get some plants. Actually, it was the weekend before the Prime Minister came. I wanted to get plants for the cottage, so I loaded up, and I pulled up right by the nursery. I think the majority have been to Home Depot, so I pull right up, I load up all the plants, and I'm ready to pull out, and here's this guy with a backpack and, a bag, and he's walking out, and the store manager's yelling at him, come back, and the security guard's there, and I said, well, go get him. We aren't allowed to go get him. And so he went around the side of where all the plants and outside the parking lot. So I was in my car, I said, screw this, I'm going after this guy. So by this time, my heart's beating. I'm ticked off. So I go racing behind. No one can see. And I pull up behind him and jump into the car. I said, buddy, what's in your bag? Nothing's in my bag. I said, buddy, I'm going to kick your ass all over the parking lot. Show me what's in your bag. And I did. I couldn't help myself. And so I said, buddy, come over here. And nothing's in my bag. And so we start. Now, by this time, the store manager comes, and he's on fire. He's cursing and swearing. I guess I threw in a couple colorful language too. And so he's emptying out his bag. And all of a sudden, so he's saying, nothing's here. I said, how about your other bag? It's because he dropped it and heard a cling. And so he went in there and he pulled out one of those saw blades that you open up. Yeah. And you can use it as a saw blade. And the store manager said, that's what he stole. And then, we start saying da-da-da-da to the guy. And then I said, keep emptying out the bag. He pulls out some cutters, tin snips. And by this time, I'm in a pretty rage. I'm just in a full out rage on this guy. And I said, buddy, you stole those too? And he goes, I swear to God, I didn't steal them. He said, look at the rust on them. I looked at them, they were rusty. I said, okay, those are yours. But the rest... And then I went on to tell him if I ever see him in the parking lot, he's going to get a beating like he's never got before.
Okay, IQ test, skepticism test. Are you a grown-up who can be allowed out of your house without adult supervision test? Do you think that happened? Do you think he escaped from his security at 8 a.m.? Do you think that happened? Do you think he just went on down to Home Depot? Do you think he accosted a shoplifter, stopped him, threatened him, went through his stuff like that? Do you believe that happened? Do you actually believe that happened? If so, if you believe that happened, my guess is you're still wearing 2 masks. My guess is you think that the ostriches are sick. My guess is you think that Vladimir Putin arranged the truckers. But if you're watching a Rebel News podcast, you're probably not that gullible that you would believe anything Fat Trudeau has to say. And I say that as a fellow fat man.